Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's your boy Ruben, and we're back. Finals here, and I wanted to go ahead and pump this one out. It's a little bit late because the finals are starting pretty much as we speak, but I wanted to go ahead and get this in before I could see, of course, the results. So my finals prediction. All right, now this was a tough one for me. It was also tough for me to pick the Western Conference Finals for a minute because while all season I was like, you know what, I just don't trust the Timberwolves. I've always felt like they're a dumb team. They don't make smart decisions in the clutch and things like that. I just think they were just too green, right? But then I felt like they really started to come of age. At least Ant did, right? I never understood some of the moves they made in the past when they got rid of, the D'Los, the Malik Beasleys, the Patrick Beverleys, basically the guys that started getting them to be competitive. Jared Vanderbilt. All those guys that left Minnesota, I didn't understand what Minnesota was doing until now I'm starting to see the vision, right? And it's basically, you know what? You got the star, but you want the right role players around your star. Cleveland did it. I remember back in the day where I was just thinking, man, Cleveland just got LeBron, and back then they had DeJuan Wagner, Darius Miles, Ricky Davis. They had a whole lot of ballers. Now, it wasn't quite working. It wasn't, in terms of chemistry or whatnot, but like when you look at just sheer talent, it's like all those guys could hoop, and adding LeBron, I thought, great things were going to come, but they got rid of all those guys, and you kind of got to clear the deck for your star to grow into his own as the leader and running the team. And that's what happened with the Timberwolves. So it made it a little bit harder to pick because I didn't want to ride the wave, so to speak, with Minnesota because at the end of the day, I just didn't trust them. So I did go ahead and pick the Mavericks. But now we're here, right? And if you asked me before the season started, I would have never picked the Dallas Mavericks to make the finals. In fact, I had Denver like the rest of us. And I originally had the Knicks. And this is also going to be a tough decision because all season I've said, I got the Celtics in the finals. Up until the New York Knicks made the trade for OG Anunoby, all our players were supposed to be coming back off injury, and we had a nice little run, finished second, and I was like, you know what? I think we could take the Celtics, and I really still believe that if we were healthy, of course, but we weren't healthy. We couldn't make it to the matchup, and subsequently, Boston went ahead and basically swept their way to the finals. And now we got this matchup, right? A lot of people are wondering, is Boston going to nut up on this one like they have in the past? And I'm going to just give it to y'all straight. My finals prediction is, after much thought and deliberating, I'm going with Boston in 6, right? Now, the biggest problem for me with this is I see the same thing you guys see. And every round I can never pick Boston to sweep. I always pick them in 5 because they have a tendency to play with their food and loaf. That's what I call it, right? They get real fat and happy. Now, they're the definition of a team that can live and die by the 3, and that ends up with like some really ho-hum or bad games. Now, they've been bored throughout the playoffs. Now they're at the finals, and it's time to, win that crown, right? They've been here before. They've been embarrassed by the Warriors. They were the green team. They kept knocking at the door, and now they're here. And now they're facing an opponent that's going to come in, and you're facing 2 guys that are coming to try to eat your lunch. I can't bring myself to say Dallas is going to win this one. I think Luka's a dog. I think Kyrie's a dog. And I think we're in for a pretty good series. But I ultimately think Celtics in 6. At the end of the day, my only beef with the Celtics has always been their head coach. I think all the loafing and some of the dumb things they do have to do with the coach. I think he's a glorified, basically, offensive coordinator, and he doesn't make great adjustments defensively, things like that. Now, that was why it was hard for me to go, all right, because I want to go with Dallas because I hate going with teams that have such a flaw, right? But this, at the end of the day, they're just too talented for Dallas. There's too many guys that they can put on Luke and Kyrie. They shoot the 3 ball at a clip that's just crazy. And there's just too many guys. Like defensively, there's no reason that they should give up the fourth quarter to Luka or Kyrie, right? They should be coming for the kill. Everybody saw Jason Tatum's face when Jaylen Brown won the Eastern Conference Finals player, what is the award? The Eastern Finals MVP, right? So this is the game, Jason Tatum, that you make a name for yourself, because I think you're going to do what you can do on offense, right? But where you can make a name for yourself is go ahead and shutting off one of those two guys' water. And personally, I think you're going to see Drew Holiday start off on Luka Doncic, and I think you're going to see a revolving door of different defenders. You got Luka's going to probably see Drew Holiday. He's the bigger body in terms of strength-wise. And then I think you'll sneak in some Derek White in there, who's probably been the best guard blocker in the league this year. And then you can rotate Jaylen Brown in clutch situations with Jason Tatum. I think all those different defenders present something different. Now, it's going to be interesting what happens in pick and roll, because the Boston Celtics don't have a true big, in my opinion. They have Horford, they have Kristaps. We don't know what's going to happen with that calf. So defensively, if they let them get in the paint and do whatever they want to do, and this is where me not liking Joe Mazzulla could kick in, right, is the non-adjustments to the pick and roll. But ultimately, on the other side of the ball, you got to wonder if Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford are going to be able to run with the Boston Celtics. Like, those are two big-time mismatches, because there's going to be somebody on the floor to get three. They're going to spread them out, and they're going to kick the ball around, and they're going to have their head spinning. Dallas, has been playing good defense, but a lot of it has been drive everybody to Gafford and Lively, right? So they can pounce on whatever's going on in the paint. And they've kind of been able to hide Kyrie and Luka on the weak side, right? Now, here, you can't hide against them. Everybody in the starting unit and even the bench can give you buckets from three. You can't hide them. They're going to be looking to expose that. And at the end of the day, as long as Boston does their job, they should cruise to 6 wins, right? And by cruise to 6 wins, I mean, like, you're going to see some blowouts, and I think you might even see blowouts on both sides. I think Boston, you might see some 20, maybe even 30-point blowouts in some games, and then you'll probably see 15 to 20-point blowout in one of the Dallas wins. I think it's going to swing that hard. And then I think ultimately Game 6, you're going to see a hard-fought, tight game, and Boston eventually just pulls it out. I think this is the game Jason Tatum can make a name for himself, and I think Jaylen Brown is, and I've always been the guy, in case you haven't known me before, that I've been like, give me Jaylen Brown over Jason Tatum. Yes, Jason Tatum has the gifts, and that's what everybody sees. But Jaylen Brown is a dog, and he lives for these moments. He doesn't shy away like Jason Tatum does. And adding Drew Holiday, another dog that's been there, done that, championship pedigree, I just think they have the right mix of players. If they get anything for Kristaps, it could be ugly, right? It could be real ugly, because they don't have an answer for Kristaps, in my opinion. I imagine they'll probably put P.J. Washington on him. But at the end of the day, Kristaps is 7'3". He should be able to do whatever he wants. And this is, of course, barring that, health, right? That's all I got, guys. I just hope it's a good finals, and I'm excited to see what's going down. Let me know what y'all think down below. All right? Peace. I'll be looking for the comments, all right?